I'm just setting up this stuff. Okay. Uh, Good evening, everybody. I'm Krishna. Today's session is Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. More than Microsoft Dataverse for Teams, we will first discuss what is Dataverse and what are all the important terminology we should know in Dataverse. And then we will also discuss about Dataverse for Teams. If you just notice, I am hiding and unhiding the Power BI icon as part of the slide. The reason behind that is Power BI is yet to come as part of the Dataverse for Teams. So today, Power BI is leveraging Dataverse, but as part of Teams created tables and all. It is yet to come. It is in preview. That is out there in docs.microsoft.com. I can show the article from Microsoft docs.microsoft.com probably at the end of the session. Uh, and the next one is okay. Come on. Okay. A little introduction about me. I'm Krishna. I have 15 years of IT experience, a proven Power Platform lead and architect, a business applications MVP, and Power Apps community super user. I have contributed 270 plus solutions in the community, and I am one of the top 10 contributors for the complete tenure. If you go back, I am there as a top 10 in the community, and I'm an Office 365 and local user group event speaker. Last but not least, I am a new YouTuber. I have started my own YouTube channel, and I have around 12 to 14 videos which talks about the functions and everything. So coming to before I go to the agenda of the meeting today, I wanted to show one quick, real, and very interesting announcement is Microsoft is offering a promotional price for per user and per app license model. It was as a per user is $10 per month and per app was per app was $10 per month and per user was $40. They were doing some promotion pricing nowadays, and the prices were very low. The per app is $3 and per user is $12. If you want to know more about it, that's the URL. It is Power Apps pricing model. When you go there, it is there right on the top. And further details, you can contact the sales team. They could help you. And next one is the main agenda of today's meeting. The agenda of today's meeting is what is Dataverse and why should we learn about Dataverse and the terminology in Dataverse, architecture of the Dataverse in Teams, how it works, and creating an app and flow. Uh, we'll see, like, if we get time, we will definitely do it. For app, we will definitely do, and administrating the Dataverse environments for Teams. Okay. What is a Dataverse? A Dataverse is Microsoft Dataverse is a cloud-based low-code data service app platform, which allows you to leverage the security and the connectivity of Microsoft services. Dataverse connects easily to all aspects and Power Platforms so that you can fully control, automate, and strengthen your business. What does that exactly means is Dataverse is earlier name of the Dataverse is Common Data Service, CDS. CDS was renamed as Dataverse. Dataverse is a sibling or a cloned baby from CRM system. It is very a proven database as part of CRM, and it has been cloned from CRM and they named it as CDS. Now they named it as Dataverse. And if we see what we will get out of Dataverse is Dataverse works with Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, and Power BI. And it has data connectors, seamless data connectivity on that. And it even works with artificial intelligence builder, and the Dataverse is right there at the platform level. And coming to the terminology in the Dataverse is tables, columns, rows, and choices. Earlier, the same terminology in CDS is entities, fields, um entries, and then two field choice entries. Now they have modified the terminology is completely moved to tables, columns, rows, and choices, which are like exact same terminology we use as part of our SQL model, in fact. And if you see if we see the tables, there are two kind of tables in Dataverse. One is a standard and the other one is a complex. The base set of tables that are created for every instance in Microsoft Dataverse database, you can add more columns to any table, but you can only delete columns from a custom table. What does that exactly means? In Dataverse, as I said, there are two type of table models. One is a standard and the other one is custom. As you can create custom table if you see the business logic is complex business logic, if you have workflows associated with it, if you need to do a lot of relational database, relational model, that is when we will go on to complex. If not, we will go on to standard. Irrespective of whether it is a standard or a complex, what happens is you can see a set of default columns comes with the table as soon as you spin a table. We will see as part of the demo down the line. And coming to complex, when you are implementing complex tables in Dataverse, it is the responsibility of the architect or maker must be taken care, and they need to ensure that the all the services and apps API calls which they are doing as part of the flows associated to the table have enough licenses and the user has enough access as part of those services they are leveraging on those tables. And why Dataverse? We use Dataverse for these below reasons. One is the number one reason is security. The security in Dataverse will be taken care at various level. Number one is Dataverse handles authentication with Azure Active Directory to allow for conditional access and multi-factor authentication. When you go to the Active Directory level of authentication, they do a multiple level of authentications, and it also does multi-factor authentication. It supports authorization down to row level and field level. If you see in the in other databases, classic databases, everybody will take it example as SharePoint. In SharePoint, I can do row level restriction or low level permissions, but I cannot do a field level permission. But in Dataverse, I can do a field level security. And the next one is storage. We all always have to think about where my data has to data is going to sit. If it is going to sit in a SQL, we need to ensure that what is a server and what is a server configuration, how much RAM it should have, all these technical aspects we have to think about. And also, if the data is growing on a period of time, how we can add more and more space to the database. But when you use Dataverse, all these hassles will be taken out. The storage is Azure Cloud, and the scalability will automatically get increased as and when we purchase additional space. The scalability will be taken care by Azure team. We don't have to worry about how the scalable, where is this data is going to store when it go up. We don't have to worry about all those things. And next one is operating with any data. The beauty with the Dataverse is I don't have to worry what is the type of data I'm going to store in, whether it is a relational data, it works. If it is non-relational data, it works. If it is the data is a plain text, file, blob, image, anything, any type of data I can store as part of Dataverse tables. And the next one is support relational database model. It supports relational database model seamlessly like the way how we see as part of our SQL. The three top relational models it supports is many to many, many to one, and one to many. So, which is exactly what we establish when we are creating database or tables as part of our SQL tables. So we that is also covered, and search is immensely fast. What does that exactly means is in Dataverse, search works at three different levels. One is a relevant search, other one is quick find, and the third one is advanced find. So if the data is in single table or multiple table, by default quick find will come into the picture, and relevant search will work if it is only a single table level. Advanced search works when it is across the tables. So all these settings will come by default. Only advanced find is something that administrator has to configure. However, it is not difficult. They can do it easily. And the analytics and reporting is easy and granular level. Analytics is few of their analytics, like how many tables are there, how many users are there, how it is going. It is out of the box, few mouse clicks away, and reporting is easy because Dataverse is easily connectable to Power BI. So whoever has a minimal knowledge on Power BI can run whatever the reports they want to run on top of Dataverse tables. And when we look at and the next one and critical one is architecture. Okay, this is going good. Everything is working. What is the architecture and how the data is getting stored in Dataverse? When you see on the left hand side, I have Power Apps, Power Automate, AI Builder, and Power BI. They are going to communicate. They are going to user communicate to the Dataverse with the UI of these one of these four. And when they request, first it will go to the load balancer. And if the application is a Power App, it will go through web. If the application is Power Automate, we know that Power Automate is all about flows and scheduled jobs. Or if it is AI Builder, it is part of Sandbox, and then and Power BI is all about reporting. Doesn't matter which source the request is coming from. First, it will go to the load balancer. Depending on that, the web will pass the request to the respective location. However, the data will be fetched from this engine. And how the data is getting stored here, if you see SQL Elastic Pools, that is the one which takes care of the enhancement of my database. If the database is getting keep on growing and growing, SQL Elastic Pools come into the picture, and they will ensure that my data is performant and it is working properly without any performance hassle. Blob is to store all the blob related non-relational data. And next one is Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB is to store all the logs related to how many calls happened and how is this relational is configured. Everything, all the logging will happen at the Cosmos DB level, and the data lake storage, which is absolutely nothing other than SQL DB, Azure SQL DB. That is how the exact architecture of our Dataverse. It is good. Everything is good. Now they have added one more layer on top of this Dataverse, which is nothing but Teams. Now we can leverage Dataverse on top of Teams also. We will learn how it is over the next few slides. The next one is environments. Now that we have all these Dataverse servers, we should also know which environment, where is my Dataverse is sitting. We know that Dataverse is nothing but CDS. CDS is nothing but the database which runs with respect to environment. These environments are none other than the environments we spin as part of Power Platform admin center. So each and every environment will get plotted as per the geographic location what the admin has mentioned or the tenant is existed. So if the tenant is existed in US, the the database will sit in US related environments. If it is related to Canada, here, Australia, here, we have, as of today, we have 3 different locations the database is getting stored for Dataverse. Dataverse for Teams. Next one is Dataverse for Teams. Now, as we know that, and in the previous slide, we discussed that they have enhanced their wings to Teams also. When we go here, Dataverse for Teams, because the Teams is the centralized location for all the communication calls and team collaboration. If we have all this kind of tabular formatting and creating the relations and everything at the team level, what happens is user need not to open another UI, which is nothing but today we are forced to open a browser to create an app, which we are forced to create open the browser to create a Power Automate flow. So if we have that capability as part of Teams, how it will look like is like this. So we have 3 different UIs we have today as a powerful tools on top of Teams. One is Teams for Power Apps, and the other one is Power Automate for in Teams. And last but not least, Power Virtual Agent. We all know that Power Virtual Agent is a new baby as part of Power Platform. Even then, if you see the what do you call the uses or the support, what Microsoft is giving to us is though Power Virtual is running behind because of their licensing model. Now, if we use Power Virtual Agent on top of Teams, it is absolutely free because it runs with the context of the license model what we have for Teams. Any questions so far? Could somebody unmute and
Nothing in the chat. If anybody wants to come off mute and ask a question, feel free. All right, I think you're good to go.
thank you. So Dataverse for Teams settings, we as soon as we create a Dataverse for Teams, it will create one entry as part of Power Platform Admin Center. So how do we create? We will see that as part of demo. So let's see how to create that, and then we will come back and see how it will look like here. You lost the sharing, or you see something?
It just disappeared.
Just disappeared. Okay. Just a moment. I'm just coming to my Teams to show how it exactly works.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Yeah, how Power or new environment get create and how a Dataverse will get create in Teams.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you.
Always, thank you. My pleasure. So let me know once you see my screen again.
You're good to go.
Thank you. This is my Teams environment. In Teams, I have all my team channels. Now I'm going and creating a brand new team from the Teams channel. What happens as soon as I create team, it will spin a new environment on Power Platform. Let us create a team stating that from the scratch I want to create and a public. This one is demo in DC group. Create that. So this will take probably little time to schedule everything. Now what I'm going to do, I don't want to do anything. I leave it like now my team is scheduled. Now if I go back to my Power Platform admin center, admin.powerplatform, and under the environments. I should be able to see that. I'll now I don't see any environment as a DC demonstration right now. Let me go ahead and create the Dataverse. How we will create Dataverse is we'll go to this ellipsis icon, go to Power Apps, say create an app. Here it will ask me which one you want to choose. Now I'll say demo in DC user group. When I say create, this will spin a environment with the within the context of teams. It'll take probably 40-50 seconds. There you go. The time it is doing out there, it I can see a new environment here. Preparing instance. Hope you could see that, right?
Cool.
What I did, where did I do that? Did I do it here or there? So this has created a new environment for me now. And when I go back to my Power Platform Admin Center, I can see that demo in DC user group. This is a new environment. So this is how we will create the environment. We will see the environment for Dataverse. And coming back to the presentation. So now that we see that environment and how it will look like is whatever the environment we created. And under settings, I can see what are all the apps I have. If there are any apps, if there are any flows, I can see that. And then I can also see what is the settings for Microsoft Teams integration. So as part of that setting, if I want to enable for Microsoft is a model driven app, I can enable for model driven apps also. Let us see what does that exactly means and how it look like. Now that I got this environment, go to this DC and go to settings. You see here, I can see all the users who are all have access here. For now, this is the only user and this is the default account which comes as per the tenant level. And then if you see here, I have something called Microsoft Teams integration. Go there and if I want to enable even the model driven apps, I can enable. If not, by default, all the Canvas apps will get enabled for this environment. That is why I can see here this Dataverse. We will discuss this and we will see how we can create a new app at the end of this session. So the security in Dataverse for Teams. Earlier we discussed about security is taken care using this Azure or authentication because it is a Dataverse. But Dataverse in Teams is completely different. It is running on top of Teams. So how it works is we always say security is always oh my god, because we have to ensure that my data is not leaked outside my organization. Nobody is connecting to my data, everything. But here in Microsoft Teams Dataverse, it is as simple as it is owner, member, and guest. It is nowhere, oh my God. It is, though it is OMG, it is simply owner, member, and guest. How it exactly works is owner will be able to create new tables and new apps and new flows. Everything owner can do, but whereas member can leverage the existing uh, the apps and they can submit new items as part of the apps and everything they can do, whereas guest can only able to access what is allowed to them, which is nothing but whatever the entries they made can only be accessible by them. So it is very well organized as part of Microsoft Teams Dataverse. And the next one is, now let us see how to create a new app and then see how it works. Now go to this Teams client, go to this ellipsis icon and search for Power Apps. When you click on Power Apps, since that I have already created that environment, it is showing me as open. If not, it will show as we have shown as part of this screens that it will ask you to create an environment. Let's say open. What it will do is when you go to the Teams environment, it will show you all the apps and flows which are shared with you at the Teams level, and all the apps which were not shared in that team will not be shown, as similar as it is in the context of regular Power Apps. Go on, it's testing me. Some reason it is taking quite a long time. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, without wasting any further time, let me go on to the go on to browser.
No worries, no worries. We all understand.
I really don't know why it was not coming up out there. See, browser is much fast. So this is how it will show all the apps which are shared with you. And if I want to create an app, I can create an app by clicking on create an app. And then here it will ask you, okay, you are trying to create an app under which team you want to create an app. Now I'm going to say that demo in DC group. So this app will be created under the scope of this teams, and the app will be added only to that. Now it is going to build the app. There you go. Now let us create an app called release management. Project delivery release management is what everybody requires. So I'm just taking the classic example of that. Let us see, this guy is still not yet come. That's bad. Create a new table. So as soon as we create an app, it comes with the default screens like this. If you see here, I see one screen coming by default. Under that, I have the container. This is a container. Here, it has the header, footer, and everything. And who, people who have idea about SharePoint Online, this is called hero layout. This layout is called hero layout. And if you see here, this is clearly showing that it is running under the context of Teams. When we are creating Power App with the on top of SharePoint list, it shows SharePoint. Here also the same way, it is showing as, hey, this app is running under the context of Teams, and the properties are, again, I can see here. Same old properties, I can see there is no change. Everything is as same as how we create the team. But coming to the data source here, if I want to add the external data source, I can add the external source data source by just saying like, SharePoint, I can add this. But here today, we are going to learn how to create a data table uh, and leverage that as part of the apps in Microsoft Teams. Now let us say release management as my table name and say create. What it will do is it will give me a interactive GUI to create the table. And by default, name is a primary field or primary column as part of this table. And here, if I want to change the name, I can definitely change able to change that. I'm going to say like now project name. And unfortunately, I cannot change the data type, so I'm leaving it as it is. And next one is release uh, notes. What is the release notes? But if you notice here, I have only a specific or very limited data types. I will show you how I wanted to, if I want to create fields or columns with other data types and how to establish the relation as well. So if we see here, I have only text. I don't have multi lines of text because always release notes will be more and more text I cannot create. But for now, I'm creating using text and then release date as date. And next one is downtime. If there is any downtime as part of this release. Now I'm done with all my columns definitions. I'll say close. The time I say close, it will immediately get add over here and also get associates here. If you see that, I can see my data source is associated here for this gallery and for this gallery also. This is a gallery. If you see here, it is a gallery and this one is also edit form. This is an edit form. And when I come back to here, this is an edit form. And then the edit form is automatically attached to my data source, which is newly created just now. And if I want to see how it will behave, how to see the behavior of this, click on preview, say add, say that demo project for DC users. And then downtime is just 2 hours of the downtime. And the release notes is sample project release. And the beauty with the controls on Dataverse in Microsoft Teams is they are very advanced. If you create a date picker as part of Power Apps, we have to say OK. But here in Dataverse the date picker, it is not needed. I can just easily navigate onto any year and just say like this. There it is. They made life more and more easy. Now I click on OK. I can see that. Now, if I want to change the layout or the behavior of this, it is as good as same gallery. I can come here. I can change the behavior so that it will show only the name and whatever. If I want to show here the project date, I can say the project release date. So this is how it will render the data from data table from a table on the screen. How about adding new controls, Krishna? It is very simple. Come on to click plus icon and click on the label. The label will come over here. Just drag here, add it on top of wherever you want and say that demo app for DC users. Now I can align it to center, make it bold, say that 15 as font. There it is. And if I go here, preview, that is as simple as that. And coming to beautification, it is up to the user and the user requirement. We can do all kind of beautifications, so like the way how you build your app in make.powerapps.com. There is no difference between that and this. Now I'm done. I'll make a save. Now, if I want to, once I'm done with my all changes, all implementation, how I can release this to my end user is click on publish to Teams. It will say that, hey, you are going to publish this app to the team. Select next. When we are publishing to the team, it will list out all the channels which are part of that team. Since that it is a brand new team, I have only one channel. If I have more than one channel, it will show each and every channel and I can add to any number of channel. As soon as I click on add to channel, what happens is this app will get add as a tab in that channel. Now save and close. Oh gosh. Let me come back to Teams. And now, if you see in Teams, when I come to the general channel, I have something called release management. For some reason, Teams is testing me. Teams client is testing me. Okay. Release management. There it is. And if I want to create a new record, I can create a demo project too. And downtime is 2 hours, say sample notes. And this is the day. Did you guys notice one thing? When I was doing the preview, this release notes was not here. And it is right next to here, and release date is the only one, which means that it is also taken care of the responsiveness. When I click on OK, come on, what happened? It is stuck.
Are those buttons wired up automatically for you, or do you have to set them up yourself?
Oh, those buttons will get wired up automatically.
Okay.
Okay, looks like it is not behaving how it's supposed to.
It happened. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
No need to apologize. We're all learning.
So this is how we can create an app quickly on fly. My client is not behaving properly. If you see this is spinning still. Maybe the internet bandwidth, or basically this is how we can create an app inside the Teams using Microsoft Dataverse. And now that we have created app, I wanted to just walk through on few other aspects that what is the difference between the actual Dataverse and Dataverse for Teams. In Dataverse for Teams has a limited uh, scope when you compare with the actual Dataverse. Dataverse has more capabilities when we compare with Dataverse for Teams. Still, advanced data types are not supported in Dataverse for Teams. We have to be cognizant while we are proposing the solutions, and common data model is yet to come. It is not yet completed. And next one is no relational storage logs is not yet started storing in Dataverse. And next one is managed data lake is not as included. What is included is basic data types are included and relational storage is included. Next one is file and image support, find, filter, and sort. These are the only three filtering commands were included. But whereas in Dataverse, everything is working. Mobile offline is not yet uh, provided for Dataverse apps. And we have a limited bit of limitations also here, which is we can create only one Dataverse per team. Whereas coming to Dataverse, I can create any number of Dataverse within the environment. We know that each and every environment can host more than one CDS database. So that is how it is. And next one is maximizing the size. One maximum size is in Dataverse 1 million rows or maximum of 2 GB. If it is Dataverse, if it is by default of 4 TB or more. And next one is 4 TB or more is the capability, maximum capability. And promote to Dataverse or Dynamics 365, it is supported in both the environments. And next one is administering the new environment, newly created environment. Before we go to the administering newly environment, I wanted to show you how to create the advanced fields while we are creating the while we are hosting the app. When we come here, I can see go to see more, and then it will show all the apps which are hosted as part of the DC. When I click on see all, Here I can see what are all the apps. I can in fact create a chatbot using this Power Virtual Agent and flows. I can create a new flow here and flow. If you see all the three flows, one is automated, instant flow or a scheduled flow. I can host any type of flow what we can create as part of regular Power Automate way. And all the tables, if I want to create a new table, I can create a table and new environment variable. In fact, environment variables are also supported here, which is an advanced topic. And next one is coming to tables. These are all the tables I have. Go to the table. When I create a new column, if you notice, it is exactly same experience what we see while we are creating the columns as part of Dataverse. Now, let me create another column as location, project location. Now, if I click on the data type, I can create any type of data. Here I can create a text area, which is going to be multi-line text and text and just say done. So this is how I can create multiple fields or columns to the table, and I can create data type like the way I want. I can create phone auto number or whole number. In fact, I can create the multi-text choice fields as well, yes or no choice fields and choices. When I create the choices, it will just say like, no, what is the choice? I can create a new choice, which is exactly the same experience what we see while we are creating fields as part of the regular Dataverse. And if we want to create the relation, most of the times we create a relation while we are creating the user field. Let us see how we can do that as part of this relational release management. And column name I want to say as lead name. As part of the lead name, what is the relation I wanted to create here as type of the behavior parent or oh, sorry. I think this doesn't work. I'm sorry. This doesn't work for the user. This is the user.
Do you need a second table or? Oh,
No,
okay, there you go.
I need to create a field with the name as I'm creating a relation to team lead, and then advanced, and this one is custom, and then referential reference string is nope, custom. I think it is disabled for some reason. I don't see that. Ideally, what happens is like the way how you see here, many to one relation for the user. This is the one I wanted to recreate for a people picker control. People picker control, for some reason it is I missed the options too. We can create for one table to another table relation. Okay, let's go ahead and create another table called projects. This is the project name, and here now if you go back to the other table, release management, and say like here create a relation one to many relation, come here and say like projects. Now I can select which one I wanted to reference to as a parental, say like done. This is one to one relation I got here. Save. Now, if I go back to my columns, I can see project name here as a reference. This is how we can create the relations also from one table to another table as part of the relational data model in Dataverse inside Teams. And coming to the next the next one and the important one is that how to manage the environment. As soon as we get the environment, new environment, using this user option, if I want to give access to more users, I can give access to more users by coming over here. Or if I want to delete the environment, what I can do is I can come on to this environment, sorry, environments, and when I delete this environment, entire that whatever the team's environment what we have will go out. So which means that all the apps, flows, everything what we create as part of that Dataverse environment will get deleted. So while we are doing that, it is always recommended to be very conscious so that we don't lose all our work. That's all for today. I have for this session. If you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me. And this is my contact information. I'm highly available on Twitter and LinkedIn. I have a few of my solutions I have provided as part of the GitHub of my account. Thank you for your time. Any questions for me?
This was great.
Yeah, this was like insightful because Dataverse for teams is like the newest biggest things, and I know it's sometime when we hear the new big things, we start to look at it and then and try to figure them out. So showing some of the limitations at the end was a good thing to see. Everyone shows all the rosy and pretty, so I'm glad that you showed that.
Yeah, this is
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you, Joseph.
I'm gonna stop the recording.